Go, everybody. This is your boy MC back in the house. Yes, I have to play it again. I found again, Dems are so activated. I wish they would have did this in their 4 years of when Joe Biden was running. All this reaction, all of this fanfare, all this positivity that they showing to stop our boy Trump. Where was this smoke for tariffs? Well, like I have in the on the thumbnail, Trump wasn't the first one that wanted tariffs first in the thumbnail. Dems wanted tariffs first, and here's some receipts. So check in, subscribe, hit that bell, and let's get this party started. Okay? And we're going to start with our girl. Check this out. Pelosi warns Congress to confront China in 1996. See?
How far does China have to go? How much more repression? How big a trade deficit and loss of jobs for the American worker? And how much more dangerous proliferation has to exist before members of this House of Representatives will say, I will not endorse the status quo? As I mentioned, it's about jobs, proliferation, and human rights. And there are those who say we shouldn't link human rights and trade and proliferation and trade. I disagree. But if we just want to take up this issue on the basis of economics alone, indeed, China should not receive most favored nation status for several reasons that I'd like to go into now. I'd like to call the attention of our colleagues to this chart on the status quo that the business community is asking each and every one of us to endorse today. Right now, we have a $34 billion trade deficit with China, the 1995 figure. It will be over $40 billion for 1996. Since the Tiananmen Square massacre, this figure has increased 1,000%, from $3.5 billion then to about $34 billion now. In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting.
And look at the chart. So that means they already knew. Way back. Look, what, 20-something years ago? Come on. Let's check out some more. They already knew. So all this hooping and hollering and now we've been double, triple. Oh man. Let's just take a glimpse one more time at some more stuff that was going on when Nancy and them was in office. They have one of her boy from back then. Where's he at? And we're going to find that out right over here. Fair use, y'all. Fair use. Because like earlier today, tariffs work in our favor. If they knew it back then, they must was paid in full or some kind of favoritism jumped off. And if I don't know this, let's look at what young minds may have to say on this. Fair use. These young brothers right here, and there's some more.
Country, they're going to do better.
Have a lot to say on it. And we're going to start right here to let you know.
And even the little with those.
So a whole bunch of stuff.
I just wonder how much bread they was literally touching for just saying F it, bro. Like literally
we see
millions.
It.
We know.
Yeah, she got the highest,
up a couple $100 M's.
Isn't her $200 million?
She's the richest one.
275, isn't it?
Nah, this is crazy for real, guys. For them to come out crying and y'all know what he's doing is right and calling him a Nazi for doing what's right. And, come on, man. You can't make this crap up, man.
How big a trade deficit and loss of jobs for the American worker.
It says to the Chinese that their unfair trade policies have got to end. It says to the Chinese, this is a shot across your bow. Reform, because if you don't, there are going to be dramatic consequences.
How come when these Democrat elites want tariffs, everything's hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs, all hell breaks loose? Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy, whoever the hell that is.
See? Didn't you hear what that reporter said? Let's listen one more time. And Schumer.
There are going to be dramatic consequences.
How come when these Democrat elites want tariffs, everything's hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs, all hell breaks loose? Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy, whoever the hell that is. That's really nice. I appreciate that question. No, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts to do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about, see, just be cool. It's going to work out. It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. It's really, I think it's a transition to greatness. It's going to be greatness. Our country's going to be. There'll be nothing like it. And people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before.
Wow.
I told y'all, man, it's gonna work out.
This is a real nigga right here, man. I'm sorry for my language, but that's just simply what it is. He's a real nigga.
He
that's
just
what it is.
He's standing on.
Man, he earned
business.
that, man.
But I would, I thought the tariffs was gonna stay longer than they were supposed to.
Man,
they're still here.
Man.
Personally,
They're still here.
Yeah, only, but they're very low.
China only.
No, it's on all countries. Just
It's all
10%
countries.
until we negotiate.
Yeah.
So we gotta wait 90 days, and then we're gonna see what's gonna happen again.
Yeah, because then if some of these countries.
Well, like in my book, y'all, what you really don't understand, even though I grew up in South Central, and some of us was playing basketball at different parks and things of that nature. Sure, we used to talk a little politics. We used to hear a few things right on the news. And then we were checking out the landscape of our community. We were seeing that, businesses and stuff that we never seen right in South Central, Watts, and all of these locations in our area. Like, wow. Didn't you see that person just pass by trying to sell us something? Ain't that something? But slowly for surely, it integrated. And this shouldn't be no slowly for surely when it comes to these tariffs then. Till it comes to what this administration is doing for the American people. But let's listen what these youngsters really is talking about, because even though I used to do that when we were playing basketball, but when I even was at my low, drinking and at the liquor store, in the back of the liquor store and all of that, we were still talking some politics. Some of it may sound so buck wild and crazy, but that's just basically how things go. Fair use. Let's listen to some more.
Don't come to an agreement, you getting hit with that original number.
So,
but I bet they're gonna come to an agreement.
Oh, for sure.
They gave him a taste of 1 day. Here's 1 day of it. Okay, I'm putting 90-day pause. Okay, so do y'all want to do that or not?
I saw one country was like,
nah.
we not finna do no tariffs back. We just want to negotiate a deal. I think it was South Korea. They said, no tariffs. We want to.
I heard the African countries been in the knee, but they got
what they gonna do with they ain't gonna have a pot to piss in.
I heard that Trump is letting all the coal industries be able to manufacture coal here, and Europe is the ones that's supposed to buy it now.
I saw some countries have been, not countries, some companies, car companies have been stepping away from electric cars and going back to like combustion engines.
Yeah.
I think it was Porsche actually.
They're doing the
I think it was Porsche.
the Scats and the Hellcats still. They redoing that again.
Wow.
Because they did away with it.
I seen that we only had like 300 coal mines, or it was like 290 or something, and China had like 1,200.
Oh yeah, we closed a lot. A lot of bad things have happened.
The Green Deal.
It's not even the Green Deal. It's just like a safety thing. Like when people getting trapped and stuff.
Yeah, coal miners.
They closed a bunch. But with environmentalism, a lot of them have closed.
Yeah, we need them though. That's a lot of money, so we need to figure out a safety something for it.
Well, especially all the AI, we got to produce a lot of energy. So the coal.
No, we need it.
Because this is how I know God is real. Because I was literally about to go.
So they can do the commercial. Let's get up out of here and let's look at what else I have on this thumbnail. That's going to trip you out. It's time to see. 90-day pause. Excuse me. Oh, I'm cracking my knuckles. We finna see what the other countries are talking about, how they feel about it now. And this is going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Let's slide over here. I got to do this. Try to be careful. And where's that one I wanted to talk about? Man, I had it at the top. Oh, I got to put my glasses on. See, so China and some of these other countries have some 2 cents to say on this. And what has happened is that I thought I brought them up on the top. And let me see, not that one, not that one. That's Australia. And that's funny how it just wants to vanish. And I know I put it bam, 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 right there, right here. And let's check out what Homeboy is finna say, because he all down with his country. So, you know, this is basically like a mirror image of if they would have pulled the trigger first, if their economy was going through and buying up most of the stuff. Do you think with China being number 2, that's what they're not liking? That now, if you want to be number 1, put yourself in the position that we've been in for these last few years. And apparently, China is really showing that they don't approve of this. See, so fair use, and we're going to look at what the heck is they going through. And I think that starts right about here.
Announced that it will launch a...
Given the escalation, what will China do now?
I think the Chinese government has announced that it will launch a mirror image of the tariff against China. And this is very proportional, very measured. It is completely in retaliation against the wrongful sanction tariffs launched by the United States against China. Now, President Trump threatened to further increase 50% of tariff against China. And he demanded China to rescind the announced retaliation. I would say 2 things. One is that Chinese government will definitely retaliate again if the United States imposes additional 50% tariff against Chinese export. China will announce immediately 50% retaliatory tariff against the U.S. export to China. Now, the second point, which is equally, if not
reciprocal, but you said retaliatory, meaning, oh, so this is going to be like a business war jumping off.
Even more important is that in this round of trade war initiated by the United States, not only against China, but against so many countries in the world, China will not blink first.
What?
China will not be the first country to blink vis-a-vis the United States. In China, we have no panic buying of things made in the United States, for example, whereas in the United States, people are panicking. They are buying things from the supermarkets, from the department stores, made in China, made in other countries. Therefore, I hope President Trump and his advisors, some of whom are really very much flawed in terms of character and decency, for example, should realize
that. I mean, he coming with some shaming language. I mean, they learned how to adapt the way we act now. So it's almost like China is rather westernized. Don't y'all remember what Kevin Samuel was saying? That it's a lot of single women that's out there already living together and all that.
Tariff will not save the United States. Tariff war against other countries is the wrong thing. Of course, different countries will decide what they need to do in front of such maximum pressure from the United States. But China's view is very clear. Stand up firm and do a tit-for-tat retaliation against the United States. And I hope by the end of the day, President Trump will realize how wrong he has been in using such maximum pressure against China.
Now, let me put a spin on this, y'all. See, they have some good products, but they're not the only makers. We have Canada next door. We have Mexico. You might as well just say across the street. So China needs to wake up. And we have other countries, what, 75 to 60 that's on the other social media pages already. This 90 days. See, the 90 days is not written in stone, too. That's another thing people need to say now. What if these negotiations with those 60 countries be settled within 30 days? See, so all of America and all of the fraudulent or, sidewinding news channels, they know what I'm saying. Don't mean it's written in stone. It can always be like, well, we done made all our deals. China, y'all the last one in line. And then we have other people that can do the same thing of what y'all can do. So with that, let's feel free to go over there and look at this page, and we're going to see what else he has to say. It's Times Radio.
And if Donald Trump doesn't realise, as you say, that he's wrong, and he doesn't go back on his tariff decisions, which all indications are at the moment that he won't, is there any way to avoid a global recession as a result?
No, I think from the Chinese perspective, we'll never go to Washington and beg for something. China's position will be very clearly defined. Do whatever the United States is doing to China, and we retaliate against what the United States will do, even at the cost of a total war between China and the United States in terms of tariff war or trade war or otherwise. This is the firm decision of China. China will never cry uncle or go to Washington with his hat in his hand and beg for something. This is not the way China is doing. China is defending its fundamental interest in the right way, and the people in China support it. And I think eventually it will never be China who will blink first. Remember what I say, and let's wait for another day or another week or less than 4 years to come and to see what will happen.
And you're saying that China can...
remember that one thing I love and I know about China, they love this publicity too. This is what I think it basically is. It's like, we want y'all to know that China's hard. We understand this crap, but fair use. But let's get to what the other part of the world is talking about too. Because man, this video is going to open up some eyes on the one that I'm going to bring here. And it's the other news channel that, is talking about these tariffs. Where is that lady at? Because it tripped me out that I even found her. Is it this one? Oh, where my glasses at? Hang on now. So that's what these tariffs wars are, these scores are doing. A lot of people is taking score. I had that China man one right there. This one. Let's see what the Indian lady is going to talk about. And it will give me time. Fair use.
April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day that we began to make America wealthy again.
That's right.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir. They all want to make a deal. Somebody had to do what we did, and I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate.
Check this out.
Donald Trump has rolled back the tariffs 8 days after he announced them and 12 hours after they came into effect. He has declared a pause. In fact, his trade war began unraveling from the word go. Pressure started mounting on the White House from top CEOs to Wall Street traders. Everyone wanted Trump to slow down. And after much grandstanding, he complied.
They all want to make a deal. Somebody had to do what we did, and I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate.
Trump says this 90-day pause is for 75 countries, those who have been calling up and pleading with him for a trade deal. The actual words he used were worse, so we'll go with pleading. Trump has been boasting about this, suggesting that the whole world is bending over backwards to woo him. He kept saying he won't budge, but he did within 12 hours.
TSMC, I gave him no
So America's trade partners now have 90 days. If they can manage a deal in this period, they won't face tariffs.
Now, I want y'all to see something. Notice the archetype, the buzz. Look how she's dressed. Think about it. In India, she's considered their modern woman. Ain't that something? So, you know, and for that station, over there, is this considered DEI? Put that down there in the chat. That's just a little sidebar of some stuff, but fair use. And let's check out some more of the show.
But China is not part of this list. It is clearly enemy number one for the United States, so Donald Trump is piling on the pressure. He has raised tariffs on Chinese goods again from 104% to 125%. We'll discuss this in detail in just a bit, but for the moment, let's focus on Trump's U-turn. Here is how the last 24 hours played out. As always, it began on social media. That's how things begin with Donald Trump. On social media, he posted on his platform Truth Social, and this is what he said. This is a great time to buy. That's all. That was the post. Traders took note. They gave a mixed reaction during the early morning trade. The market fluctuated, swinging between red and green. There was a lot of speculation on what this post really meant. Many thought Trump was teasing another announcement, maybe a shift in policy or at least a pause. While all of this played out in the markets and on social media, behind the scenes, Trump was working on an announcement. He huddled with his Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, and Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick. Together, they drafted the 90-day pause plan, and within hours, it was made official. Again, Trump broke the news on social media. Minutes later, Bessent gave a statement to the press.
We saw the successful negotiating strategy that President Trump implemented a week ago today, and what we have ended up with here, as I told everyone a week ago, they are in this very spot, do not retaliate, and you will be rewarded.
So that's all he's saying. Do not retaliate. You will be rewarded. So fair you. This is a darn shame. But you know, and one more video to go. And then we'll be finished with this show. There it is. Get ready, y'all. And this is the other lady on the thumbnail. Let's see. Deal or no deal with another country.
Melissa mentioned that 90-day reprieve. Now, ASEAN countries did get that 90 days, but China did not. And is urging the U.S. to meet it halfway amid the spiraling trade war between these two economies. Beijing repeating that it will, quote, fight to the end if a deal cannot be reached with Washington.
美方仍在对中国滥施关税，对这种霸道霸凌的行径，中方坚决反对。
Read it. The United States is still imposing tariff on China, and China is firmly opposed to such bullying. China will absolutely not accept pressure.
绝不接受施压、威胁和讹诈，不是同中方打交道的正确方式。美方如果真的想谈，就应该拿出平等、尊重。
See? That is not the right way to deal with China. If the U.S. side really wants to talk, it should show an attitude. I mean, man, threats and blackmail. Ooh, these are strong words, man.
互惠的态度。如果美方置两国和国际社会的利益于不顾，执意打关税战、贸易战，中方必将奉陪到底。
Well, the foreign ministry adding that while China is not interested in a fight, it's also not afraid of more tariffs. Beijing also warning that U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs, quote, go against the entire world, given the damage that they will do to trading systems and the threat they pose to the stability of the global economic order. Donald Trump, though, hinting earlier that he would be open to talks with his Chinese counterpart after Washington slapped Beijing with more tariffs, bringing that to a cumulative total of 125%.
Well, do y'all hear that? Let's just give you a glimpse. I'm sure I was going to go to the Australia news, but man, Australia news seems more like, they're in the same clique with some of the news stations that's in our country. So I would like to say thank y'all for showing up to the show, and your boy is going to be out. And tell me, what do you think about all of this negotiating? This is some funny stuff because, like I said at the beginning, the heat, the enthusiasm. I was speaking that word, like, when Ice Cube brought up the contract to Black America. Where was all of that smoke? Yeah, a lot of smoke came down. The same reaction, like the same force. Hey, wait a minute, Ice Cube. Wait, why do you come and talk to us about that? But don't go over there to that business, man. See, and that's what all this smoke was about, because they know that from the beginning in 1996, that was when Nancy Pelosi and that other guy, Schumer, they was fresh bodies into politics. And I know that burst of energy was maybe, supposedly, slightly, they was thinking of the people, but somebody must have walked in that parking lot in that shadow and left a couple of briefcases with some candy in it or something. And now our deficit then went buck wild. And we only can go by what mainstream media have been telling us, like we in debt with China. And then if we up here buying out all these receipts and purchasing for all these people to sell over here among us, then it makes sense to why America is real aggressive on its own people in this country when it comes to taxes. Think about it. The taxes are being used to make up for that loose Band-Aid that been going up on us all. And we can tell when we walk out the door, because now most of our cities is suffering from homelessness, from PTSD, from drugs and alcoholism and crackaholism and all kind of ism. And then we have this obesity. Man, we far beyond the obesity crisis. We like just great trying to integrate men and boys into the belief that any weight or measure or size or whatever you eat, you don't have to worry about it. We can fix it. Just go to the doctor and you don't have to work on things. Y'all basically know what I mean. But man, tell the truth. I know y'all cracking up off this. Look, man. Dang, the stock market going up and down, up and down, up and down. And then they want to spin the story on these bonds. People just dumping their bonds off, selling them. Now, if you're dumping something off, who is the one that's going to pick them up and buy them? So we may hear something about that later on down the line. See, and then, about the bonds. People is buying gold, silver, all kind of stuff. And man, didn't you like what the Couture family put on their spread? I didn't even know we had 90-something coal mines or something to that number. And they got 1,000 or something? What is reciprocal? No. So until then, just get back, enjoy this show. Send me a clip or two. And with that, I would like to say I don't have no money.